And joining us now with more on the very tense security situation here in Israel is former head of strategic planning at the IDF Central Command, Colonel Dr. Dani Tirza. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So it seems like chaos is unfolding. Palestinian terror attack after terror attack. Israelis have lost their sense of personal security, and some even trying to take matters into their own hands. I mean, what do you make of the situation on the ground today?
Situation is not so bad as you described, because there were terror attacks all over the time, but in this time we have to be very careful. We know that the Palestinians are hearing what's going on in Israel, and they are afraid, as some Israelis are afraid of the future. We don't know what will be. And there are some Palestinians that want to show that they can do some things, especially in what is going on today in the Palestinian politics, as people understand that the current leadership doesn't give them enough courage, doesn't give them enough future, doesn't give them enough hopes. And what they see in Israel is that they see right-wing people that are talking in the media, right-wing people that are now in the government. They don't know what will be in the future. Of course, I don't justify terror attacks, but we have to understand that we have to give them some hope for the future.
And yet, this hope. I want to stop you because we have had a very bloody month. 14 people have been killed in terror attacks. Some saying that another intifada has begun. I mean, do you agree with that assessment?
No, intifada is another thing at all. I don't even call the terror attacks that were in 2000 intifada, because intifada is something that comes from the people. It raised up from bottom up. What happened in 2000 was that the Palestinian leadership, and especially Yasser Arafat, controlled the terror attack or the violence attacks against Israel. These days, it's something else. It's more sporadic, and it doesn't go through the organizations. It's come from people. We don't know exactly what connect them, but we know that they have the same background, personal problems in one hand, in the other hand, frightened from the future. And of course, we have all the time to use our forces to stop these terror attacks before they arise, before they are coming, before these terror attacks are hitting the Israelis and the Israeli army. And I think that the army is doing the right thing today when they bring a lot of forces on the ground, trying to protect the Israelis on one hand, use the intelligence to go directly to the places that we understand there are people that they have the potential to do these terror attacks. And of course, the thing that we learned this week is that we have to control our people as well, especially those few right-wing extremes that they are doing things that against the Israeli moral, against the Israeli way that we want to see ourselves, to show ourselves. And therefore, the army is now in a situation that in one hand, we have to protect the Israelis. On the other hand, we have to stop these Israelis that are trying to take the law to their hands.
Mm-hmm. And now we just had a summit in Jordan on the backdrop of all of this, aimed at de-escalating the tensions, especially ahead of Ramadan. Was this summit a success? Was this a failure given the latest events? I mean, what can we expect moving forward?
Of course, we don't know the details, but it's part of the hope, because if we can sit with our allies, the Jordanians, the Egyptians, the Americans, of course, and the Palestinians, and to sit together and to understand that we have to face the future. We have to face the situation now, especially when we are coming to the Ramadan, and especially when people are in in chaos because they don't know what will be in the future. And we have to give them some way that they have, even not hope, but something that they can hold in their hands and say, okay, it's not the incitement that the Palestinian Authority is trying to let. It's not what the or Palestinian organizations are trying to lead. It's something that is coming from people that have responsibility in both sides, and they want to have better future.
All right, let's hope for a better future for all. Colonel Dr. Dani Tirza, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.